Hi everyone, welcome to another English lesson with Ma'am Quinto. Today we are going to talk about making connections. Here are the objectives of today's lesson. Determine images or ideas that are explicitly used to influence viewers. And make connections between information read or viewed and personal experiences. Now let me just ask you. Have you experienced the following emotions while reading books or watching movies? Why do you think you feel these emotions while you are reading books or watching movies? You're right. You felt those emotions because you were able to make connections with what you were reading or watching. And what is making connections? Making connections is a strategy that can assist you in extracting the meaning from a text or something you see on TV. It is about how the information you are reading or watching connects to other familiar texts and to how the world works that goes beyond your personal experiences. Past experiences, emotions, and knowledge are the keys that make us able to engage or be hooked in what we are reading or watching. There are three ways on how we can make connections: text to self, text to text, and text to world. Let us have first the text to self connections. These are highly personal connections that a reader makes between a piece of reading material and the reader's own experiences or life. Example: this reminds me of a vacation we took to my grandparents' farm. Here are some of the common questions that you can ask in connecting personal experience to what you read or viewed. What does this remind me of something in my life? What is this similar to in my life? How is this different from my life? Has something like this ever happened to me? How does this relate to my life? What were my feelings when I read this? Have I changed my thinking as a result of reading this? What have I learned? Now the text-to-text connections. Text-to-text connections occurs when readers are reminded of what they have read or viewed with the other books by the same author, stories from a similar text types, or perhaps on the same topic. Readers gain insight during reading by thinking about how the information they are reading connects to other familiar texts. Example: this character has the same problem that I read about in a story last year. Here are some of the common questions that you can ask in connecting text or picture or video you read or viewed to another text. What does this remind me of in another book or video or picture I've read or reviewed? How is this text, picture, or video similar to other things I've read or viewed? How is this different from other books or texts, picture, or videos I've read or viewed? Have I read about something like this before? Text to world connections. These are the larger connections that a reader brings to a reading situation. This allows the reader's idea about how the world works that goes beyond own personal experiences. We learn about things through television, movies, magazines, and newspapers. Often, it is the text to world connections that teachers are trying to enhance when they teach lessons in science, social studies, and literature. Example: I saw a program on television that talked about things described in this article. In connecting real world happenings to texts, here are some questions that we can ask ourselves. What does this remind me of in the real world? How is this text similar to things that happen in the real world? How is this different from things that happen in the real world? How did that part relate to the world around me? Let's see if you have understood what we have talked about. Let's try this activity. Read each statement carefully, classify them as the text to self, or text to world connection. Number 1. The movie Independence Day is almost the same as what is happening in our community today. Answer: text to world connection. Number 2. This scenario reminds me of the old days when we used to go to plaza after class hours with my friends. The answer is text to self. Number 3. That picture I am looking at remind me of my primary years where I used to cry before entering my classroom. Answer: text to self connection. Number 4. The message of this portrait depicts the real situation of what is happening now in our nature. Answer: text to world connection. Number 5. This text or passage is the same as the lesson we discussed in science about the prevention of the possible spread of coronavirus. The answer is text to text. Number 6. This movie is similar to the passage I read before, whose author and editor is the same person. Answer: text to text. Number 7. The video we watched is somewhat the same as what we studied yesterday in mathematics. Answer: text to text connection. Number 8. The character in the story is similar to my experiences as a working student who was able to assist my parents in sending my other siblings to school until all of us became successful professionals. Answer: text to self. Number 9. This incident reminds me of our happy days with our grandparents when they were still alive. The answer is text to self connection. Number 10. The news report led me to recall the actual situation that our country is facing now. The answer is text to world. Congratulations! Now let us have a recap. What is making connections? Very good. Again, making connections is a skill in reading or viewing that links what we read or viewed to what we already know or experience. This helps you in comprehending texts, passages, videos, and pictures read or viewed by activating your prior knowledge and making meaning of what you read or viewed. What are the three ways on making connections between information read or viewed and personal experiences? That's right. The three ways of making connections are text to self, text to text, and text to world connections. It seems you understood our lesson very well. Now, let's try another activity. Read each item carefully. Make connections by identifying if the statements are text to self, text to text, or text to world. Write your answer on your notebook. Every time I watch a movie showing sacrifices and heroism, it reminds me of our medical frontliners who are serving our country selflessly in this time of pandemic. The answer is text to world connection. Number 2. The story that I've just read reminds me of the present situation in Afghanistan. Answer: text to world connection. Number 3. Watching the movie The Secret Life of Pets made me love animals more. Answer: text to self connection. This story is related to what we have discussed in Araling Panlipunan class last week. Answer: text to text connection. Number 5. The story of David and Goliath taught me to be courageous during difficult situations. And the answer is text to self connection. Congratulations! You all made it.